What's the weirdest thing that you've seen at someone's house that they thought was completely normal? I knew a girl who would get glasses of water, and whenever she couldn't finish the whole thing, she would dump the rest on the carpet because it just absorbs it. I went to high school with a girl whose family would dress up their house like a model home being sold or something. For example, the dining room table was dressed with a plastic Thanksgiving feast, with plastic food on nice plates and fake wine in fake glasses. When you walked into her bedroom, the bed was made with top corner open as if she just got out of bed, and there was a tray with a fake bowl of cereal and a fake glass of orange juice. On the floor were coloring books and crayons as if a child lived in the room. They kept the place spotless, and every room had an odd theme of fake living. Her parents' bedroom had quite a few large African animal statues and fake rose petals leading to the bed. People actually get paid to live in model homes/homes for sale. They have to keep them immaculately clean and ready to be shown at any time. Attic or main house? I have pop in the attic. When I moved cities in grade 2 or 3, I didn't know anyone. I met someone the first day and he invited me to his house that weekend to stay over. Everything was great. We played GameCube and stayed up until 3 a.m., the latest I had been awake up to that point. He said we had to sleep in the basement so that we don't wake his parents when we went upstairs. We go downstairs with our sleeping bags and immediately I knew something was wrong. The worst smell I've ever experienced filled my nostrils the further we descended. In the corner of the room was a bed covered in what looked like crusty blood and some pus-colored streaks. Turns out his mother had a home birth the week before and kept the sheets as a memento. I haven't been back since. You'd think that the baby would be a good enough memento. Whole items of food left for days on the floor. Toddler not interested in that apple? That's fine. Just leave it there on the floor where he threw it. It will work its way under a piece of furniture and out of sight if we give it some time. Once I went to these people's house and there was an entire sandwich sitting in the corner of the living room floor. I was so distracted by it I didn't really hear much of what was said during that visit. I just sat and stared at the floor, which I was friends with my little league baseball coach's son. One day I was invited to their house for a play date. As I walked through the door I saw a huge framed white cloth with some weird symbol. I didn't think much about it because at the time I didn't know WTF it was. My coach noticed me looking at it as I entered the house and said my granddad wore that. It's been in the family for years. Naturally I was like, oh okay whatever, and thought nothing of it again. Now that I am older, I realize what it was. KKK robe. Worst part is that I am not white. LOL. Worst part is that I am not white. Looks like granddad would agree. When my brother and I were kids, we would often comment that our next door neighbor's house smelled like pee. One day my brother was playing video games with the kid from next door at his house and asked to use the restroom. The kid said, "We just pee here," and started peeing in the closet. My brother peed in there too. When in Rome, we pee in the closet and use the bathroom as a breakfast nook. Yeah. Use the toilet like a chair and a table combo, so that you have that nice little shelf for your comics and chocolate milk. Bathroom machete. Because, you know, just in case. Man, it's literally nothing more than a real machete that hangs in their bathroom. So if someone breaks in while you're fighting dirt dragons, you aren't at a total disadvantage. Everyone there was surprised when I said I'd never heard of it. I now keep a bathroom hammer handy. Because god damn it, it's a great idea. Had a friend in high school. Went to his house for the first time and everything smelled like piss. Turns out he had a dog and his family never bothered to potty train or clean up after it. Everything in the house was covered in old dried up urine and fresh puddles. While I was there, the dog peed on my friend's bed and he didn't even care. He literally sleeps in his dog's piss. Even I got pissed on. Never went to his house again. There are so many replies like this. Why is this such a common thing? Maybe everyone just knows the same family. I choose to believe this. We were getting something out of his dad's closet when I noticed there was a ton of expensive electrical equipment in the back of it. All still boxed up. I asked him about it. Apparently his dad keeps everything new he gets for a year before he unboxes it and actually uses it. He didn't know why. And it still boggles my mind. Or his dad stole electronics and held onto them before fencing them or using them. That would certainly be less strange though. The extent to which the owners had gone to preserve their furniture. Each piece of furniture, including the lampshades, had a custom-cut plastic shell draped over it. Every furniture leg had a plastic bowl underneath it to distribute weight across the carpet, preventing indents. The strangest part was the plastic pathways laid out across the floor. These pathways were kind of like plastic carpets laid on top of the real carpet. You weren't allowed to walk on the actual carpet. Instead, you had to walk on these plastic mats that crisscrossed the floor and connected all the rooms to each other. Still undefeated champions of the floor is lava. My friend's dad. When I was a kid, I used to stay for dinner as kids do. But the dad would not eat with us. The mom would make a plate of food, take it down the hall and slide it halfway under the door to the basement. A few seconds later the plate would slowly slide under the door. Nobody at the house seemed to think this was odd, but I thought it was weird as fuck. The other odd thing this family did was every weeknight at 7:00 on the dot, the family would clear out of the living room so the dad could come and watch Star Trek. Once the show was over, he would go back into the basement and the family would move back into the living room. Fucking what? The father was quiet but seemed to be normal other than those odd habits. The family thought none of that was weird and my friend thought it was funny my dad ate with us at dinner. I came here to mention the friends who kept their bread in the oven. But clearly I'm out of my league. We had a human skull in a glass case in our living room growing up. It was years before I figured out that was really weird. My mom got it from a doctor friend or something. Just some random head. Not like a relative or anything. We called him Freddy and had to superglue his jaw back on every few years when it fell off. I guess I had repressed the memories, but just typing this now I recall touching it and playfully tossing it around gently at times. I'm torn between wanting to respect the dead and really wanting a skull. Tell ya what. If I kick the bucket before you do, you can have my skull. That's going to be really weird to type into your will. And I would like my skull to go to the Reddit user /u/they shoot bees at you. A 5-year-old in diapers. I was an adult literacy volunteer and I went to this couple's trailer. A kid walks in shirtless, wearing a diaper. At first, I thought it was a joke. Then I thought maybe developmental issues. Then the mother says, "'Bout time ta change at diaper, ain't it?" And the boy said defiantly, "You ain't gonna change my diaper. Hey baby. Quit sellin' weed, man. You got your whole life ahead of you." "Fuck you nigga, I got kids to feed." "Well then let me get a dime bag, man. Baby, go home." My friend's mom often threatened to murder the whole family when she was angry. This was very scary to me, but my friend hardly thought anything of it. She just acts like that was normal mom stuff. I went to a friend's house and they had their halls lined with grandfather clocks. This was a little weird but nothing major. The weird part came when his dad told me and my friend, "Don't you kids go around telling anybody about my clocks." Now he'll never forget about his precious clocks. My neighbor was super into grandfather clocks. Turns out his collection was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that was the reason he didn't want anyone to know. When he passed, many went to a museum. I will never forget as a child visiting my friend's house and noticing the wallpaper they had in his hallways. The pattern was of naked women throughout his apartment. Just little naked women all over the wall. We were maybe 8 years old. And it was amazing. Was it this? A cow tongue in place of a birthday cake. It wasn't like they couldn't afford a birthday cake either. They just had a cow tongue with a single candle in it. I imagine someone at a grocery store talking to an employee who's saying, "Yes, you could get a cake. But wouldn't the day be more special with this bowl of oysters? No. Not up your alley. How about these frog legs? Yes, sir. We do have cake. But I would be remiss if I didn't alert you to the birthday joy that you might gain from this cow tongue." And finally someone was just like, "Sure. Why not?" I knew a guy one time who would get completely undressed every time he took a shit. Then take a shower afterwards to really clean up. He'd even do this at other people's houses. I was about 12 to 13. Visiting my best friend's house for the first time. After lunch, I get the urge to take a dump. So I go to the restroom, do my thing, finish up, and flush. Nothing. Nothing happens. I take a step back, flush again. Still nothing. So I start freaking the fuck out. I'm a kid. I just broke my friend's toilet. I don't have any money to pay to fix it or buy a new one. I'm standing there, sweating, trying to figure out a plan. And after 15 minutes I still got nothing. I finally decide to fess up. I mean, I can't stay in there all day. They'll eventually figure out something is wrong. Right? I step outside and sheepishly tell his mom that I broke the toilet. She starts laughing, goes into the bathroom and turns on the water flow to the toilet. Waits a few minutes. Then flushes. Easy peasy. Everyone, the best friend, his mom, and his sister, then takes the opportunity to start laughing at me because I didn't know it was normal to turn the water on/off whenever I needed to use the bathroom. To this day, if I'm unfamiliar with the restroom, I always do a precautionary flush just to make sure everything is working the way it should. Unless the pipes leak. That's a strange thing to do. The toilet only uses water when you flush. So how is that saving water? That's the puzzling part. I can't see any benefit to doing it. Unless they were trying to fuck with me. It's possible that the flushing mechanism in the tank didn't seal properly, letting the tank drain into the bowl slowly. The tank would constantly have to refill itself and waste water. This has happened in my house and that's how we dealt with it. Except we got it fixed eventually.